What if I told you that in East Asia you can rent a best friend, a boyfriend, or even a family for the whole day? Imagine growing up with a loving father only to discover a decade later that he was a paid actor. It's real, and Gen Z is footing the bill. In Japan, you can pay for a fake wedding guest, and in Korea, you can pay for a comfort friend to listen to your problems. And in China, boyfriend rental services are exploding for the Chinese New Year. But why? And what does it say about the pressures that young East Asians face in modern society? East Asia is known for its deep social traditions, family honor, collective responsibility, and the importance of maintaining a perfect public image. But in today's world, where individualism is rising, urban life is isolating, and work culture is relentless, there's a paradox. People still need to fulfill these social expectations even if there's no one else to look up to. That's where the rental relationship industry comes in. The market for renting people has exploded. One company in Japan has over 1,000 actors playing romantic partners, family members, and friends. The largest of these agencies, Family Romance, has even provided a father for a girl who never knew her real dad, and she still doesn't know 10 years later. This surreal story comes from a man called Ishii Yuichi, the founder of Family Romance. He was hired by a single mother to pose as the father of a 12-year-old daughter called Mana. The mother feared that without a father figure, her daughter would face social stigmas, so she paid Ishii to pretend to be a father for occasional meetups. What started as a one-time arrangement turned into a decade-long performance. Ishii would visit Mana regularly, going to school performances, taking her to the park, and even giving her life advice, playing the role of a doting father perfectly. Over the years, Mana became emotionally attached, believing that Ishii was really her real dad. But here's the catch, she never found out the truth. Even as she grew older, the mother insisted on keeping the illusion alive, worried that learning the truth would devastate her daughter. Ishii himself has admitted to feeling conflicted about the experience. In interviews, he has said, "When I see her growing up, I start to wonder if what I'm doing is really right. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to stop." This case raises a terrifying question. When does a lie stop being a service and start becoming a real relationship? If a girl builds her identity around her father, how does that make the relationship any less real just because money was involved? And if she eventually finds out, how is that going to shape her ability to trust people in the future? In South Korea, businesses offer hired mourners for funerals so that the deceased look more well-loved. And in China, young adults rent fake partners to avoid parental pressure to get married. But is this just a quirky business trend, or is something deeper happening here? The answer lies in three major cultural forces shaping young lives in East Asia. Number 1, saving face. In East Asia, saving face or protecting one's social reputation is everything. Public perception can determine your job prospects, marriageability, or even family honor. But what happens when you fall short of societal expectations? You fake it. And that's why an entire industry has emerged, allowing people to fake the illusion of a successful and socially integrated life. For example, Japanese people rent fake colleagues to attend work parties, making it look like they have a strong professional relationship. And in corporate Japan, where networking is key to career advancement, being seen as well-liked by your colleagues can be the difference between getting promoted or stagnating in your role. Whereas Korean women hire fake boyfriends to avoid their families from constantly nagging about marriage. As marriage rates are plummeting down, women face immense pressure from parents and relatives to settle down. Some hire fake partners for family dinners, hoping to silence the interrogation, at least temporarily. Not to mention, Chinese students can rent fake parents to appear from more of a prestigious background. In a viral case from 2019, an university student from Beijing hired 2 fake parents to impress his professor in a school meeting. He wanted to appear as if he came from an affluent, well-educated family, a key advantage in China's highly competitive academic and professional world. But the deception unraveled in real time when the father accidentally referred to his son by the wrong name. The student was humiliated, but his reason for doing it is telling. Without a strong family background, his future job prospects were all at risk. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Face culture has industrialized personal deception in ways that would seem unimaginable anywhere else. It's not just about pride, it's about social survival. But what is face? At its core, face refers to someone's public image, reputation, and social standing. It's the perception of respectability and status that you project to the world. And in many East Asian cultures, unfortunately, it is more important than individual happiness. Losing face can lead to social exclusion, career failures, family disgrace, and financial struggles. Unlike in Western cultures where personal authenticity is more valued, in East Asia, sometimes the appearance of success is more important than actual success. There are two key aspects of face. First, it's about gaining face. This means enhancing your reputation, authority, and perceived success. Things like getting into a top university, having an influential job, or marrying a respectable spouse can all contribute to gaining face. You can also lose face, and this happens when you fail to meet societal expectations. Whether through career struggles, social awkwardness, financial instability, or family issues, losing face doesn't just impact the individual. It can bring shame upon the entire family. This is why you can often see Asian parents being incredibly harsh on their kids. Face culture operates on a collective level. It's not just about how you see yourself, it's about how your family, colleagues, and even strangers perceive you. As a result, people go to such extreme lengths to uphold social perfection. In Japan, some men rent fake wives and children to project the illusion of being a stable family man, a quality that would make them more trustworthy to employers and landlords. In China, single women rent fake boyfriends just for a weekend to visit home. That way, they can avoid their parents arranging real marriages on their behalf. And even more interesting is that in South Korea, professional apology services exist where people can hire fake actors to deliver elaborate apologies on their behalf, especially for workplace mistakes, cheating scandals, or public humiliation. Lying? Yeah, maybe. But in a society where status defines opportunity, many see it as a necessary investment in the future. But the real question is, if everyone is faking success, does success really mean anything anymore? Besides saving face, renting people can also help with loneliness in this hyper-connected society. Which brings us on to the next point. Despite living in an era of digital hyper-connectivity, many young people in East Asia are more isolated than ever. In Japan, the phenomenon of hikikomori has left 1 million individuals completely withdrawn from society, often shutting themselves in their rooms for years. In China, a growing number of disillusioned youth have embraced the lying flat movement, rejecting the relentless pursuit of career success by doing the bare minimum to get by. Meanwhile, South Korea's grueling work culture demands some of the most hours in the entire world, leaving little time for relationships or personal fulfillment. For those caught in this cycle of isolation, renting friends isn't just about deception. It's about survival. In a world that never slows down, where work, family expectations, and social pressures are unrelenting, sometimes the only way to keep up is to buy the illusion of companionship, even if it's just for a few hours. The loneliness epidemic isn't just an abstract concept. It's actually killing people. A study by Japan's Ministry of Health has found that 40% of people in their 20s have experienced extreme loneliness, a number that has tripled in the last decade. Another study in Japan shows that prolonged loneliness can have the same impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And South Korea has one of the highest suicide rates among young people in the developed world. China has the 996 work culture where you work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. But workers reported being so burnt out that they had no time for real relationships. And the worst part, governments aren't addressing the root cause. Instead, loneliness has become an economy of its own. In Tokyo, cafes now offer silent companionship services where you can pay someone to just sit next to you for a while. No conversation required. Instead of fixing work-life balance, societies are industrializing artificial human connection. AI girlfriends, scripted friends for hire, and even rentable grandmothers have become billion-dollar industries, selling people the illusion of companionship instead of having to solve the societal problem itself. While legitimate rental agencies operate under strict guidelines, the demand for fake relationships has created a dangerous black market, one that thrives on fraud, deception, and even emotional exploitation. In China, some freelance rental boyfriends have scammed women out of thousands of dollars, manipulating their emotions by pretending to fall really in love with them before disappearing with their money. In Japan, underground rental services have been covertly used for inheritance fraud. with actors posing as long-lost relatives to manipulate wills and financial assets. In South Korea, scammers have posed as rental friends to steal private information from their clients. With that, they later use it for blackmail. Since many of these transactions happen through unregulated platforms like WeChat, Line, or underground agencies, victims have little legal recourse. Even more disturbingly, some fake partner rentals have crossed ethical and legal boundaries, with reports of customers using them for illicit purposes, including illegal marriage and deceptive business deals. The problem is that unlike traditional escort services, the rental relationship industry operates in a moral gray area. It is not illegal to pay someone to act like a loved one, but when emotions, money, and deception mix, the consequences can be devastating. And with AI rental companions emerging, the black market could evolve into something much more insidious, where scammers can use deepfake technology and AI personas to create completely fake relationships, conning people out of their money without ever needing to meet them in real life. And now onto our third point, the corporate side of fake social lives. Of course, where there's demand, there's always profit. And companies have industrialized human connection. Brands market these as self-care, but are they actually preying on people's loneliness? But companies aren't stopping at human rentals. They're replacing humans entirely. AI-generated romantic partners are already outpacing human rentals in China. These aren't just chatbots. They remember conversations, adapt their personalities, and even stimulate emotional intimacy. And it's working. In 2023, a Chinese AI girlfriend app hit 5 million users in just 6 months. Some users spend thousands of dollars to unlock extra voice notes, calls, and personalized interactions. One man in China reportedly spent $15,000 a year on this AI girlfriend app, claiming that it was cheaper than therapy and made him feel understood in ways that real people never could. Meanwhile, AI-generated influencers on TikTok and Instagram are making more money than human influencers, raising a chilling question. What happens when people start preferring fake relationships over real ones? The rise of rental relationships and AI companionship isn't just affecting lonely singles, it's actively reshaping real relationships, marriage rates, and even birth rates. Countries like Japan, South Korea, and China, where fake relationship industries are booming, are also experiencing some of the lowest birth rates in the world. While economic struggle and work culture plays a significant role, the growing normalization of artificial companionship is making traditional relationships seem unnecessary. If people can just buy emotional intimacy, validation, or even romance without compromises and challenges of a real relationship, then why commit to something permanent? In Japan, many young men have openly admitted that they prefer AI girlfriends and fake relationships over real ones. That way, they don't need to deal with the rejection, arguments, or responsibilities of a real relationship. In China, some women are renting fake boyfriends just to silence family pressure, rather than pursuing actual marriage, delaying long-term relationships indefinitely. The South Korean government has even labeled digital intimacy addiction as a potential factor to these declining birth rates, warning that young people are replacing real relationships with scripted, conflict-free interactions. But the consequences don't stop at singles. Rental partners and AI companions have also been used within existing relationships as a form of emotional cheating. In South Korea and Japan, married individuals have been found renting girlfriends and boyfriends for emotional affairs, a loophole they claim is justifiable because it's not real and is a paid service. In China, some users of AI girlfriend apps have formed deep emotional bonds with their virtual partners, leading to real-world relationship breakdowns where their spouses discover that they've spent thousands of dollars on an AI-generated affection. The long-term consequence? A growing number of people may never grow the skills to navigate real relationships at all. If renting a partner becomes more convenient than forming a real connection, human intimacy itself could become obsolete, leading to an entire generation unable to form deep, lasting bonds. And with birth rates already beginning to fall, could this be the tipping point where societies can never recover from? So here's the bigger question. Are young people choosing this, or is it society forcing them to do so? On one hand, renting relationships may seem like a practical solution in a world where societal obligations don't go away. But on the other hand, Isn't it weird that we're monetizing human connection? And we're not the only ones noticing this. Governments have started to take action. China has cracked down on some excessive boyfriend rental marketing, labeling it as unhealthy social behavior. Some cities have even issued fines to companies promoting fake partner services, arguing that they manipulate young people into paying for temporary emotional escapes instead of addressing the deeper societal issue. In Korea, the government is deciding whether AI companionship should be regulated, whereas in Japan, despite leading the industry, has seen growing concerns over ethical and emotional consequences. And yet the market is only growing. In a hyper-capitalist world where loneliness is profitable, the demand for fake relationships isn't going anywhere. But there's a disturbing side effect that nobody talks about. Fake relationships don't just fill a social void, they've been training people to interact with others differently. Studies show that people who regularly have rented companions or use AI partners become less empathetic, struggling with real emotional connection. Even governments are panicking. A South Korean study showed that young men who often use AI girlfriend apps showed a 35% decrease in empathy over 6 months, struggling to engage in real conversations. As a result, South Korea is debating banning AI girlfriend apps, fearing that they might lead to a total collapse of real-world dating and marriage rates. Japan, where rental families are common, is seeing a rise in people completely giving up on real relationships, preferring scripted and conflict-free interactions instead. The biggest fear? If people grow up in a society where renting people is normal, how will they ever learn how to form a real human bond? Or will we just become a society of actors, playing our role for money, where real relationships disappear? As one Japanese psychologist put it, when love and family can be rented, what's left that's truly real? As long as face culture, social hierarchies, and social expectations exist, renting companionships might not be an outlier, but actually the norm. But that leaves us with a haunting thought. When relationships become transactional, what's left of real connections? What do you think? Is this a sign of progress, giving people what they really need in this modern world? Or is it proof that something is truly broken? Let me know what you think in the comments below.